Welcome back to another episode of General Hospital Spotlight, our first one of 2026. And I am so happy to have the incomparable Donnell Turner with us, better known to GH fans as Curtis Ashford. Donnell, thanks for hopping on tonight.
Thank you so much for having me, man. Happy 2026 to you.
I was going to say Happy New Year to you. Also, a belated happy birthday. You celebrated a birthday last week.
Right on. Yes, sir. Thank you.
And
Capricorns.
And you also recently wrapped up your 10th season, big 10th anniversary with General Hospital.
Yeah, I can't believe it. It went by fast. A decade doing what I love and getting to travel the country and meet amazing fans.
Let's just go back. You've kind of known since you were a young lad growing up in Chicago, you wanted to do this for a living, right?
Oh, yeah. I always thought that sports would lead me to acting. And, I ruptured my Achilles tendon in my 20s and life took a detour. There were several detours along the way, but I always knew that this is what I wanted to do. And early on, maybe 10 years old, General Hospital was the show. I mean, that was the impetus. Watching, the late, great Tony Gary do Luke, that started it all for me, and by day it was Luke Spencer, and at night it was John Ritter doing Three's Company. And I just thought he was fantastic. And the two, I was like, man, they're really doing something they love. And that just kind of did something for me. There's many others, but those were two of them.
You've known most of your adult life anyway that you wanted to be on GH, so much so that would you say you harassed Mark Teschner?
Oh, no.
No. Talk about, you've said several times, you let Mark Teschner know that you wanted to be on the show.
Yeah, I mean, back in the snail mail days, handwritten letter. And at that time, I had done small modeling things in acting class. I had 2 music videos under my belt. And, I thought I was ready for the big time. And people just would say stuff like, you look like you should be on a soap opera. And so I thought, all right, well, let me just appeal to the only soap opera I ever watched. And so I just started writing him. I mean, I was shocked that he's still there because that was the name I used to write back in the 90s. And it was, it wasn't the whole decade, but there was a solid 6 to 8 months where, I hit him up, or maybe a year where I did it once a month. And I had nothing to offer except for people say I look like I should be in soaps.
What does it say about GH that not only the stars have been there for years and years and years, show's been 60 plus years. You've got Jeannie Francis have been on there, Jane Elliott, Maurice Bernard, etc. The list goes on and on, who have been there 30 plus years. And now you just mentioned even the behind the scenes crew, the casting director, the crew, etc., has been there for years and years.
It's an institution, man. To be a part of it is surreal. It's serendipitous. It's beyond what I expected. How close knit everyone is. How our intrepid leader Frank Valentini just keeps everybody he hires from within. He promotes from within a lot, oftentimes. So in the 10 years I've been there, I've seen people go from different positions and go grow up through the ranks. Working with I compare a lot of things to sports. And so for me, it would be the best way to explain it is imagine having a poster of your favorite sports hero on your wall, and you looked at it every night before bed, and then you grow up and you get to play with them. And so that's what it's like every time. And I mean, every time I see Jeannie Francis. And today I did scenes with Lynn Herring, and to have developed a friendship with Tristan Rogers, which was just, who saw that coming? He wasn't open to many, but I'm glad he opened to me. And that was something I'll cherish. Same with Tony Gary. I met him once and he opened up, and you would have thought we were friends for a long time, and I'll cherish that forever. So yeah, it's surreal, to answer your question with one word.
Talk about when you got the call. All right, Donnell, we've got a spot for you. You're going to play this new character, Curtis Ashford.
So It wasn't even that clear cut, decisive. It was I auditioned for, oh, wow, I have to go back, but maybe a year earlier, so 2013, I had read for a character named Ashford. Didn't get it, but it was, screen test. I didn't get to the screen test, but I got multiple producer sessions. I got close. And then a year later, I go in for a character who's a district attorney. And so for for 4 auditions, I'm in a suit. And I wore my lapel flowers, the things you see in Curtis. That's how I showed up. They didn't tell us to, but I made my choices. Earrings, I had a gray beard. And I put my own touch on that character. I didn't get the part. That part went to a wonderful person and actor named Anthony Montgomery. And so he got that character. I go home deflated, and I still have a video in my phone of the day I auditioned, screen tested. And I'm so deflated. It's like a sad, the video will make you cry, but I kept it just to keep me humble because I thought I blew it. I get a call a month later. That's a long 4 weeks. And I'm at my day job, which happened to be behind the scenes as a double on Criminal Minds. So I'm doing doubling work. And I get a call. I see my agent's number. I pick it up. It's been a month. So usually you just let it go. And then she says, "Hey, I just want to tell you, so you didn't get the part." And I said, "Well, thank you. I kind of figured that." And then she says, "But just want to say ABC loves you and they're creating a character for you." And I thought, whoa, okay, what does this mean? And so then I had to wait maybe another 2 weeks. I was like, what's happening? You can't hear something like that and then not see something right away. And that's what happened. And so I went back to my day job. Like I just got a crazy phone call, and had to keep my feet grounded the rest of the day. So 2 weeks later, a script arrives at my door, one of these. I'm reading mine now. And it was back before COVID, so they used to deliver scripts throughout Hollywood. And it's at your door. And so I go to my back door and there was a script and there was two characters, one named Curtis and one named Hayden. Well, I hadn't heard anything. My agent, nothing. I just get a script. So I don't know if my name is Hayden or is my name Curtis. So I learned both parts. And then later, 2 days later, I get a call that you're going to meet and sign contracts and things like that. So, and they told me, listen, we like the beard, we like the earrings, we like this. They use the word swag, but this was 10 years ago. We like the swag, bring that. And, you don't have to use our words, but tell our story, but you can use your own words. And I thought, oh, wow, cool deal. And here we are.
What's the past 10 years been like? Has it been a whirlwind? Has it, I mean,
Yeah.
just talking, I mean, Curtis, there's been several, Curtis has gone through a lot in 10 years, would you say?
Oh yeah. Well, he's been paralyzed. He's been shot twice in the stomach and the back.
Mhm.
And he's almost been blown up. He saved the hospital from being blown up. He saved his loved one from dying sheer death many times. Yeah, it's been great. You guys have watched him grow up from, you know, leather jackets and V-neck shirts to suits and a corporate office. And so I think you guys have seen that, and we've seen it in an accelerated time period, 10 years. And we've kind of started with, he was a little more clever and wily. And now he seems a little more precise and refined. And so I enjoy that because it aligns right with who I am.
Yeah,
And so,
I was gonna
yeah.
say, yeah, I was gonna say, only in a soap opera world can a guy go from PI, stuff to owning their own nightclub to now you're the CEO of a multimedia conglomeration, right?
I love it, man. I love it. I love it. I love that ABC. A shout out to ABC and the writers. We got this new crop of writers that are the best since I've been there. And I'm really enjoying everyone's storyline, not just mine. Yeah, I'm really. And a shout out to North Carolina. I love, love, love North Carolina. Raleigh. I was just there recently. Well, not recently, a couple years ago. And I just love it. And the trees, it takes going back there when you're from LA to realize that there are more trees than people. It's just a beautiful thing. So
They broken up, Curtis and Portia, and basically brought Jordan back into Curtis's life. What was your reaction to that part of the storyline?
I love it. I love it. But this was a discussion from 2019 anyway. So this is like the long story, finally coming back
Right.
around. So I was aware it was going to happen back then. And I'm so grateful, and I love how they did it. And so it wasn't a shocker. What's enlightening or interesting is how it's done. And I just love the writers and how they're doing it.
Let's talk about the baby drama that Curtis is involved with. You know, he had Portia is now pregnant with, and we just don't know. It's at least we know it's one of two men.
We
Supposedly,
hope we hope it stops
it's soap
there.
opera land, right? And you mentioned Curtis wants to be, he was excited to have Trina in his life, but now he might get the chance to raise a child from birth. But what if it's not? What if it's Dr. Gannon's? How will Curtis handle that?
I can't imagine Curtis taking that lightly. This might be a golden opportunity for, if that were to happen, maybe Curtis goes rogue in retaliation of some sort. I don't know what that means, but um, you know, it could be exciting stuff. New rival and Dr. Gannon, and you know, um, I don't. I think it would be all bad. I think Curtis would spiral. And that could be interesting. I think he could, lose his job at Aurora, and the nightclub goes, he loses his marriage, lose the house. I mean, it could be, there's a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of ways it could go, but I just know one thing for certain: Curtis probably wouldn't take that well.
But speaking of Curtis's rivals, you were involved with probably one of the the most talked about storylines of GH of 2025. Who shot Drew?
Hmm.
You know, was there ever a time in the shooting of the things that you thought maybe they will have Curtis be the guilty party?
No, I don't think. No, because there's no. I would have thought if they do that, then they're gonna get rid of me on the show. Then he goes to the jail, and then you only see me once every 6 months, or if that, once a year. And so I was hoping it wasn't me. And I didn't think it had. I don't think Curtis's moral makeup would have devolved to that point.
And we kind of saw his his moral makeup come out with it, correct?
Right. He thought about doing some, devious things, and then he thought better of it. So, um, yeah, yeah, no.
And now that it's been revealed, were you surprised when you found out who they laid it on?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. That's what I was like, man, high five to the writers, man. Yeah.
I mean,
There's a lot of times you watch the show and you just watch your scenes. And for me, it's not vanity, it's homework.
mhm.
But the way it is now, I watch the whole show. And that, again, that's a credit to the writers and the producers and the
Yeah,
directors.
I was actually going to ask, being a fan of the show before you even joined, do you find yourself, because yeah, I mean, you guys have so many lines and so etc. Do you find time to actually watch watch the entire episode, not just studying your own stuff?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Do you, are you when you do get to watch it and you watch a scene with Curtis, how critical are you?
Oh, less critical today. I'll still go in on me. I'll still call myself, I'm hard. I'm harder on me than anybody could ever imagine. Um, but in the beginning, it was rough. It was so bad. You can barely watch it. I jokingly say you start here, and then over the years you kind of get to the point to where you can, okay. One of the coolest things my late wonderful mother said. In 21 she passed, so it must have been in like early 21. She said, when I watch the show now, I don't see my son, I see Curtis.
What would you like to see the future hold for Curtis?
I'm going to be slightly biased, but more real estate in Port Charles. Um, yeah, more family. Um, maybe a dark side, maybe a relapse. You know, in fact, they introduced Curtis with the prior drug addiction. They've gotten away from the DEA talk, but when I first started, he was a former DEA agent. Now they just say Baltimore PD, whatever. Um, but I wanted to, for years, I've been kind of subtly, asking and inquiring about a relapse episode. I don't know if you remember, we did it one time in 10 years, where we had a day player, and she portrayed an old fling of Curtis's, and she was at his apartment, and then she broke out a bag of cocaine, and they showed it, and Curtis was like, "Yo, I'm not about that life anymore." And then that went nowhere. That was it. We never saw her again. We never went there again, and I would love it. So for me, I would like to show a stark deviation from what we know of Curtis.
Last question. What can the fans of GH expect for Curtis over the next few weeks?
Oh wow. Curtis is going to demand paternity test. He needs to know, as anyone would want to know. Um, and that's going to prove to be more of a challenge than it needs to be. And you're going to see he and Jordan further whatever it is they're rekindling. And that is, I'm pretty sure, all I can say without stepping on my tongue, without saying too much.